I've got an idea. Let's get out in the great outdoors. Hey, first grade, I'm here at Blandford Nature Center and I'm looking at all these beautiful trees. Some of them are changing colors. Amazing. Some are already losing their leaves. Let's take a look at Prunus, the black cherry tree. Remember the black cherry tree, Prunus? Let's take a look here at Blandford Nature Center. See you out there. Peekaboo. It's me, Mr. Peterson. How you doing, first graders? Hey, we're back here at Blandford Nature Center. We're looking at Prunus, the black cherry tree. Remember, several weeks ago, we looked at Prunus. We looked at the trunk, the bark, the branches, the twigs, and the leaves. Plants like Prunus, the black cherry tree, are organisms. They're living things, and they're growing and changing. Let's look for some of the changes that are happening in Prunus, the black cherry. First of all, when I look at Prunus, I think about those big roots underground. I wonder how deep they go to suck up water. I wonder how far they spread out. Look at the trunk and the bark pattern of Prunus, the black cherry. Look at that rich pattern. Doesn't it kind of look like burnt potato chips? Black cherry has this flaky dark gray bark, and some people think it does kind of look like potato chips. Look up, there's the trunk, there's the branch. Not a whole lot of changes yet, but let's follow the branch all the way down to the twigs, and look what's happening. Look what's happening to Prunus, the black cherry. Many of the leaves are turning yellow and they're starting to fall off. Many of them are on the ground. Friends, living things grow and change. And this black cherry tree is changing its leaves from green to yellow, and they're starting to fall off. Don't worry, it happens every fall with this tree. Let's take a closer look. Wow, look at the ground under Prunus. I see many different leaf shapes. Friends, do you notice different trees and different plants in general have different leaf shapes? Look at all of these. Prunus has a leaf shape that looks a little bit like a football, kind of like a long pointed football. Have you heard of a football before? There's the leaf shape of Prunus, the black cherry tree. And these leaves are kind of like mixing with other leaves. Like here's one from an eastern cottonwood tree. Notice each tree has a little different leaf shape. Wow, I love leaves of different trees. Wow, they really smell good. I hope you can get out and explore nature and look at a tree in your yard or neighborhood. Friends, when you look at a tree like Prunus, notice how the branches get smaller and skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And at the very end, we would call those branches twigs. Twigs are thin little parts of the branch that hold the leaves. Leaves, twigs, and branches. They're different parts of living things called trees. And look at those yellow leaves on Prunus. I wonder what will happen next when we look at it. I love the sound today. Friends, I call it the wind and the leaves symphony. It's a beautiful sound to hear the wind blowing the leaves of trees. Hey friends, now it's your turn to sketch the tree that you sketched before. Whether it was this one, Prunus, sketching it from the video, or sketching a tree near your house. Maybe there's one in your yard. Maybe one you can even see from a window of your house. Maybe one in your neighborhood. Find that tree and let's sketch these parts. We're going to sketch the leaves, a twig, a branch, the bark of the tree, the trunk, and you can sketch the roots if you want to guess what they look like. Don't go digging a tree up just to see its roots. Now, when you do this, notice that most tree trunks are not exactly straight. Prunus has a little bit of a curve to it, and we're just going to draw the trunk, this branch, some twigs and leaves from over here. Please don't try to draw the whole tree. That would take a long time. Let me make my sketch, and I'll kind of show you what mine looks like. Just give me a minute here. I love to be out in nature, sketching and drawing. First grade friends, your sketch does not have to look like mine, but here's an example. I spent a few minutes looking at prunus, and I drew the parts that I have listed here. I drew the roots, the trunk, the bark, a branch, some twigs, and leaves. I also drew the roots down here. I kind of guessed what they might look like underground, and I also drew some leaves on the ground. I wanted to show that this looks different now today because some of the leaves have fallen. That's different from what it looked like before. You notice I drew some lines to connect the parts of the tree. I drew lines to connect the trunk, the word trunk, with the trunk of the tree. The word bark with the bark of the tree. The branch, some twigs, and leaves. I drew a line connecting those parts. Notice when I drew some leaves, I didn't try to draw all of them, just a few. And I tried to show that some leaves have fallen, so there's some bare twigs. Now your sketch does not have to look like mine. Notice I didn't draw the whole tree. That would take a long time. I picked one branch, some twigs and leaves, and the trunk and the roots. Friends, have fun sketching your tree. If you don't have a tree in your yard that you can sketch, you can look at prunus in this video and you can sketch this tree from the video. Have fun. Plants have parts, and those parts have different uses. How could you use bark? Bark protects the trunk and the wood of the tree. If you had bark, how could that help you solve problems? Think about that for one of your Seesaw responses. See you, friends. Friends, if you do not have a tree, stop the video and use this sketch of prunus. Have fun.